Wow, I never thought we'd see the day that a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie is voted rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, but I do actually think that there is some credibility behind those claims. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we are going to be reviewing The Eternals, which is the 26th Marvel Cinematic Universe movie and the first one to significantly change up the formula and really enter into the sci-fi and myths and legends space. Now whilst I really applaud them on trying something new with this movie, as this is definitely how you keep the MCU really fresh, unfortunately, though, I just feel like Chloe Zhao has made this movie ultimately feel really cold and really empty and really lacking the wit, vibrancy and epicness that this movie in particular really needed. And that is why I feel like all of the other critics are really criticizing this movie as it really could have been and should have been so much better. And I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. So 10 super powerful beings known as the Eternals come from a planet called Olympia and have been sent down to Earth by a celestial called Arisham, and they have been told that they have to protect the Earth from evil creatures known as deviants, and this has been going on for over thousands and thousands of years. And the clause is that they cannot interfere with mankind, but they can live with mankind, and the only people that they are able to interfere with is these evil beings known as deviants. Now they are thinking that deviants have been completely wiped out, and while they are waiting for Arisham to call them back to their planet, they then realise and find out that actually the deviants are still alive, and the film then explores what is going to happen next as the Eternals learn the truth about what's really going on and all of the sinister things that are going on behind the scenes. Now from a positives point of view, I really do feel like from a visuals point of view, this movie really is a big masterpiece. It's definitely very ambitious in what it's trying to do, and it's got really cool twists and turns, and it really is taking the MCU in a brand new direction and is introducing loads of new characters and loads of new beings, which are really cool, and they also have really cool powers as well. However, from a negatives point of view, I just feel like this movie is really trying to do way too much, and unfortunately it just doesn't do them well enough. In this movie, even though the runtime is 2.5 hours, I really feel like if they were going to explore the Eternals in the amount of detail and depth that they really should have done, it would have been better if it did serve as a Disney Plus TV series, as that way they really could have explored everything in the amount of detail that they really should have done. But also that is a bit tricky, as obviously they wanted to have movie level talent, which really does make it a little bit tricky. But even the characters that they did have in this movie, they just lacked so much emotion. And I know they were trying to go for a stylistical difference with this movie and trying to make it a lot more in line with Chloe Zhao's, masterpiece of making movies. But in turn, they've just made a movie that's really difficult to connect with. Even though the jeopardy that these characters are under is really big, it's just really difficult to connect with the characters and really feel the burden of everything that they are dealing with. And so from a storyline point of view, whilst it did have some cool elements in there, I really do feel like they should have and could have made it so much better. So one of the many draws about the Eternals movie is the fact that it's got an incredible cast, and I have to say they do have a brilliant cast attached to this movie. However, their characters really could have been a lot better. But that being said, because it is directed by Chloe Zhao, they do all give really graceful performances. Pretty much all of the different characters really are really graceful and very elegant in their particular delivery. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Gemma, who is definitely the main lead in this movie as the Cersei character, and her Eternal's power is that whenever she touches anything, she is able to change the matter to something else, which I think is really cool, and she's in a bit of a love triangle with the Icarus other Eternal character and Dave Whitman, who is a human character played by Kit Harrington. And I just feel like this character is a little bit difficult to connect with, and she's very one-toned in her delivery and in her performance. But all of that being said, I do feel like Gemma is able to lead the movie relatively well, given all of the issues and problems with this movie. Next up we have Richard Madden, who is playing the Icarus character, and his Eternal's power is that he is able to fly and shoot out eye beams, so is incredibly similar to the Superman character, and is even referenced to be compared to Superman in an MCU movie, which I think is absolutely crazy. And this character is a little bit bored of living in Earth for so long and is just longing and desperate to go back to Olympia and left the Cersei character a very long time ago, because obviously they've been on Earth for thousands and thousands of years. Next up we have Angelina Jolie, who is playing the Athena character. Her Eternals gift is that she is able to create weapons out of nothing and is also suffering from the memories of the past, which I think is really, really interesting. And I do feel like they really could have explored this character so much further. Firstly, Angelina Jolie is just such a brilliant, formidable actress. And this character, I really do feel like she could have had so much more depth and really intriguing things that they could have done with this character, similar to what happens to this character in the comic books, which I really do feel like is a bit of a shame, as this character in particular could have been so much better. And this character is very, very similar to Wonder Woman, and I really do feel like they really do embody a lot of the Justice League members with the Eternals, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Next up we have Kumail Nanjiani, who is playing the Kingo character, and he is a bit of a Bollywood star, and through this character they are able to explain how they are able to fool mankind in terms of having one character being able to live in the public eye for loads of different centuries. This character is really, really funny in places, but they just don't really do that much with him. And his Eternals gift is that he is able to shoot projectiles out from his hands, which is really, really wicked. Next up we have Salma Hayek, who is definitely playing the leader and mother figure of the Eternals group as the Ajax character. She is able to heal herself and is the only person that is able to communicate directly with the Arisham Celestial character. Next up we have Tyree Henry, who is playing the Fastos character and is the first proper LGBT character in a Marvel Cinematic Universe property. Obviously we had Loki and Sylvie in the TV series, but this is the first one to definitely take place in the movie space, and his Eternals gift is that he is able to create weapons and technology out of nothing, and is a bit of a solutions finder, especially for the Eternals group as well as for humankind as well. And then finally we have Kit Harington. Jon Snow from Game of Thrones himself is now in the MCU as the Dave Whitman character, and he is a human that is falling in love with the Cersei character, and he works at the Natural History Museum. There are some other Eternal characters as well, such as a speedster and a mind control person, but like I said, with all of them, they really could have and should have just explored them so much further, as they just could have made this such a brilliant TV series if it was on Disney+. So from a visuals point of view, it's a real shame with this movie, as in some parts it looks absolutely extraordinary. Like I said, a true visual masterpiece, and especially on the big screen, it really does come alive really, really well. I mean, all of the powers look really, really cool, all of the locations that they go to, all of the explaining how the Eternals have been here for so many years, all of those sequences are really, really cool. But it is just such a classic case of style over substance, and it really does feel at points as if it really is distracting you from how bad the movie can be at points, with how much it is a bit of a visual masterpiece, which is a little bit disappointing. But you know, that being said, all of the powers look really, really cool, all of the costumes look really, really cool. I absolutely love the fact that the main colour with the Eternals is gold, and everything that they do with the gold colour looks really, really cool, from the eye beams to the weapons creation to all of the mind control to the speeds to stuff. Everything with the Eternals does look really, really impressive. I mean, some of the fight sequences look really, really cool as well. But then again, I really do feel that they could have pushed the fight sequences even more to truly make them really, really epic. But you know, all in all, I feel like from a visuals point of view, Eternals is actually pretty impressive. So from a comparisons point of view, I feel like unfortunately Eternals isn't as great as other ensemble movies. For example, the X-Men, the first two Fantastic Four movies, all of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and TV shows, and of course Avengers Endgame and all of the other Avengers movies. But you know, that being said, I do think it's on the same level as the Justice League movie and the Batman vs Superman movie, the third Fantastic Four movie and the Inhumans TV series as well. And so from a comparisons point of view overall, I just feel like this movie could have been so much better, especially like I said, because it had so many great ingredients to make it really, really epic. So overall with the Eternals, I think it's really great that they were trying to be really ambitious with this movie and try something a little bit different, introduce brand new beings and characters, and just play with the formula a little bit. And I think for all of those reasons, it is really, really great. But unfortunately, I feel like a show like WandaVision really does show how you break up the formula a little bit, still retaining the core fabric of what makes the MCU, but changing things enough to make it really fresh and new. But I just feel like they didn't do that well with the Eternals, and so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.